I was gonna put up 2 feeders this weekend, but I guess I'm only putting up 1 because I get in here and I'm gonna put this feeder up. It has a problem. I do believe, I think it was squirrels. I really don't think it was the bears. So I've had this one for a number of years. I have a steel one. So I'm going to put the feeder up higher and I'm going to wrap the tree with flashing material. But what I'm going to do is put a 1x4 in and screw to that so I'm not screwing into the tree. So save the trees. This is a tree farm, by the way. So anyway, I'm going to get started. I'm going to put it up there. Bears are smaller than me. I'll put it up there. So if I fall, somebody call 911. Never mind. Nobody knows where I'm at. It ain't light. Alright, so it wasn't so easy, it wasn't so difficult either. A little bit of heaped in and pushing. I'm not a small man and it was hard, but also not a young man. So somebody that's a little smaller, a little younger than me probably have an easier time. But as you see, it just chain just wraps around the tree, digs in at the bottom. Now when I put 150 pounds of corn in there, it'll pull it down. It's gravity, digs in, and after a while it just stays put. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause and I'm going to start wrapping the flashing around the bottom, which is actually the hardest part of this whole project, other than making the barrel. Alright, the hardest part of this whole job is getting this board to stay in place at the right level. And put a screw in it, hold it to the tree, and I'll back it out. And I'll start wrapping the flashing on the bottom and cover it so the bear can't get their claws on the top of it. I don't know how this is going to work. So far, ever since I've done one, I haven't had a bear come in. So we'll see. I'm going to have to turn my camera so it points this way to just see what they're doing. So, the most important tool out here right now is my thermocell. Keeping the skeeties away. They are really tenacious here in the swamp. It's hot. It's about 96 degrees. And any sane man wouldn't be out here. There you go. So anyway, I'm going to get started. You can watch me. board's been sitting out in the woods for a while. Oh, that's a good thing. Means the screws aren't going to go in the trees that I wanted to use, so I'll get the longer ones. Alright, now we got a starting point. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not going to go in a circle, and I'm going to cut off each piece, I want to overlap. Don't want the bear to get their claws in there. And rather than pull off one at a time and frustrate the hell out of them, just like they're frustrating the hell out of me. So it's just payback. That just makes sense too. Okay, let's pause you for now. This is all repetitive after that. Okay, I'm back. That's a lot of work. As you can see, I'm kind of in the sun here. Hang on. Behind the tree. As you can see, I'm mostly done. I'm missing the very important part, which is the barrel and the motor. But it's been a very warm day. I've only been out here a couple hours. I feel like I've been out here for a week. It's hot, it's humid. I'm a Florida boy, but it is just cooking. Heat index is up 110. You know, anybody with a small brain, no better than to be out here. I should be on the beach, in the water. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll hang the a barrel with a motor on it, put 3 bags of corn in it, and let it swing for about 3 weeks till I come back. In the meantime, I have a camera that'll show me what's going on from 300 miles or 120 miles away. So anyway, see you around. All right, so now today we're going to get the barrel all set up, run it out. It's still hot, but it's not as hot as it was yesterday. So I'm going to show you just what we did here on the barrel. Not the most round hole, but I didn't have the proper hole sawn. I was wanting to get this done last week so I can get up here this weekend. So I used a drill bit and a sawzall, and it's just fine because that funnel is going to go on top, and I'm going to screw that in. I've already pre-screwed everything, all the holes for everything, so when I get out there it shouldn't be too hard. I think what I'm going to do is take my truck and drop all this off out in the woods, and so I drop it in the woods, I'll come back and transport all the stuff on my quad out to the area, because it's about 100 yards and I'm too old to be schlepping 50-pound bags of corn back there. So we're going to get this thing mounted on, but not the motor. I'll go inside, put the battery in, show you that setup, and then we'll head out to the field. Perfectly round. Okay, see you inside. Okay, here we are in the camper. Instead of doing this out there in the sweltering heat, we'll do this inside. So the first thing we're going to do is hook up a battery here. This operates the motor. This little 6-volt battery, and this particular feeder motor is a Sunslinger. A buddy of mine told me about it. So far so good. The only problem I had was a squirrel was jumping from the tree where the flashing had came off at another place onto here and eating the corn out of there. So once you pull the front off, looks something like that. Now one thing you got to do, there's a little screw here. It's a retaining screw, and you have to back it down or the battery won't fit in there. For lack of better tools, I'm going to use my multi-tool, because I don't want to run out to the truck to get it right now. So just got to back that down, so, and that holds the battery in place, so it's not moving around on you. This is actually supposed to be a 1/4-inch nut driver, so it's a 1/4-inch crimp. Anyway, so this is actually pretty simple. Of course, you know, black is negative, red is positive. All right, and also in here there's the battery for the right here. There's a battery for the timer, which is on the other end, and I have a battery just for that right here. So again, pay attention to your polarities, and it goes in just like so. So now my clock should be activated. This is for the motor. So what's really cool about these is they have the female butt connector with a male, so you can put the two together. It'd be the red one actually. So I'm going to put the red one on first. Doesn't really matter. Some people say negative, positive, it doesn't matter. So there, battery's installed, but we want to hook up our solar charger, so we're going to slide this on. Like that, black to black, red to red. They got it so simple. Battery positive. Okay, so now our solar panel's hooked up, the motor is hooked up, and we'll just take this and slide it in there. Make sure we can get past that little screw in there. Try it this way. And the screw's fighting me. Alright, so that's that. So we'll put the screw bag in. I will tighten that down once I get the proper tool for it. Alright, so as you can see, this angles up. Make sure you don't have any wires pinched sticking out anywhere. It slides in there. Line up the holes and put the screws back in. Pretty dang simple. It's a little more difficult the first time, but it does come with instructions. I recommend that you sit at a table and not do this in the field the first time. After you get used to it, it's pretty easy. I had already made all these connections, these here, which weren't too hard, and basically these will flip up like this when we get out in the field, and this goes to the bottom of the barrel. That's the only time going to the bottom of the barrel is a good thing. Alright, so let's get this one back on. So I mean about sitting at the table. It's just being a little persnickety. Now, I like to get these snug down and then just do a little snug, quarter, eighth of a turn, and that's all set up. Now the back side of this is where the clock is, and it's got multiple settings. I only do mine in the morning and the evening. Now the reason I only do mine in the morning and the evening because I only hunt in the morning and the evening. One thing you can do is set it up for, say, a morning. Say you've got pigs coming in, so set it up for 6:30 or first light, so the pigs will come in. If you're not after the pigs, they'll come in, eat up all the corn and leave. Set it so it goes off about half hour later, and that way if there's a deer around, they know the pig's gone. So that's a personal choice of yours. So for this time of year, I am just going to set it up for probably 7 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock at night, or let's say 6 o'clock, because I'll get out there at 5, I'll be in the stand for an hour, everything will calm down, it goes off, and at 6 this time of year I would have 3 hours to hunt pig. So and actually you can go after that, but dang, it's hot. So I don't know why you'd want to. So there's instructions here on how to set these. That's my one knock on the Sunslinger, is it's not real easy to set these, and I recommend you keep the instructions either in your hunting backpack or whatever close by when you go to set these up. Say in the fall, when the sun comes up a little later and goes down a little later, we have less sunlight, so you know I like to hunt, here you got to hunt deer during the day, so give myself a couple hours at night and
at least an hour in the morning before sunrise, so again I can get in and let everything settle down. So hang on, let me read the instructions because it's been about 6 months since I've done this, and then we'll go over how to set these up. I'm not sure how well this is going to work because some of this is pretty small stuff, so hang on. Hello again. Okay, so I reviewed the instructions and it's actually very easy. I have 2 or 3 of these and I was making it more difficult than it was because I was impatient. So what I think you need to do is read the instructions. Basically you hit the plus or minus to set the timer, and time will flash, so you set the hour. Then you have to wait, I think it's 6 seconds is what it says in here, approximately 6 seconds, and then the minute will flash. Once you set the minutes, you wait 6 seconds, and then the date will flash, and you set what time of the day or what day of the week it is. So now you've got your date and your time set, and then you leave it alone for a second and it goes back to just the time. Now when you go to set the programming, it's pretty easy also. Basically the biggest part about the Sunslinger is you have to let it do its timed out. In other words, you can't advance it to the next step. You have to let the timer time it through. And that's where I was making my mistake. I was trying to force it to, instead of wait the 6 seconds, hit enter, but there's no enter. Basically you have a program, a test, a positive, a negative, and that's all the buttons there are. Okay, so here's what it says. Press the program button. The first program indicator light will begin to flash in the bottom left corner of the display. And you'll be able to see it. Here's what the timer looks like. And you have to take this little cover off, which keeps it dry, and then there's another cover that keeps everything safe. So basically you remove the cover, you press the program, the first program indicator digit will begin to flash in the bottom left corner of the display. Press the program button again to navigate to the first program. The hour the hour will come up, and then you press plus or minus for what hour. You set that, and then a few minutes later, after you're finished touching the buttons, the minute will come up, and then the day, and then it'll ask you for the duration of spin. Once you do that, you let it go back to the hour, you hit program again, and then you can advance your program button to your second one. So in other words, I set mine for 7 in the morning, and then the second one I set for 6 in the evening. And it's just like most timers, you have to go through all the AM to get to the PM. And then there's a test button on this, and you push it, and there's a little number, and you can set this thing to test for 3 seconds or 30, excuse me, from 1 second to 30 seconds. I set mine for 3. Now, when you're in the field, say you come up, you haven't been out here for a month, and you want to make sure it's still slinging corn, you basically hit the test button and then hit it again. You wait 5 seconds, and you get away from it if there's corn in there, because it's going to throw some corn. And that's basically the test. So it's actually a very easy feeder to set up. It's got a battery charger, and I think this is going to eliminate a lot of problems in the field for me. So let's break it down and go out to the woods and install it. Okay, out in the woods, getting ready to head out. Put this stuff out in the woods. So let me lock this stuff in, and you just come along with me, and then I'll set up and I'll start dragging this stuff in. Don't mind making a lot of noise right now because I don't know what's in there and I don't really care. I don't think there really is anything because I got a camera in there that beams back to my phone. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and it's hot, but not as hot as yesterday. The humidity's pretty heavy, but I ain't gonna worry about that. Like I told you yesterday, I'm a Florida boy. We're used to the heat. You just gotta take it easy and take your
your brakes, stay hydrated. Maybe next week on my adventure I'll take you along and we'll do some metal detecting. I don't want to do just metal detecting, I want to do adventures. I haven't decided what I want to do with this channel. I'm new, and I've had a lot of people say they want to see what I do when I'm in the woods or metal detecting. So I'm going to stop right here and turn you around, let you see what we did last night, and see what we got work ahead of us. So there's the stand, or excuse me, there's the feeder tree hanger. I don't think anything was out here last night, so I built this little stand so I can lower the barrel and the motor won't get on the ground. My first design wasn't so good, but I think this design's fine. All right, I'll catch you in a few. Out here are bad. That's why I did everything in camp. Mosquitoes out here are bad. That's why I did everything in camp. Reduce the misery. thermocell going, and I've got thermocell going. I also have bug spray on. They just want to get into your eyes. Nasty creatures. That's why there's a box. Okay. All right, let's go look inside this thing. I want to show you the funnel. The funnel sits in there, so the corn, well, it doesn't just sit on the sides, it'll funnel down through there. Once I get it all set up, pour the corn in there, it'll stay put and just filter it through, or funnel it through as it is, right on into the feeder, and when it spins, it'll sling that stuff out. That's a perfect installation. All right. Now the hard part, getting the corn. All right, so that was the end of that project for now, till the bear tears it up. Got it as high as I could. So I'll crank soft corns in it, move the cameras around a little bit, so we'll see. So there is the finished product, and looking forward to seeing if we get some wild game in here. It'd be really cool if we did. So I'm not going to bore you with the walk out of here, so I'll recap in a cooler place. Thanks.